Hi, my name's Elisha, and this is my sign name. I'm 11 and I'm deaf, but my mum, my dad and my sister, they're all hearing. But I'm really lucky because they learn how to sign just for me. When I was young, I went to a bilingual preschool for deaf kids at RIDBC, and now I go to Thomas Patterson School, and that means I can communicate with my teachers and my friends in English and Auslan. Sometimes we have special visitors at the school or other teachers who come in to teach us and they don't know how to sign. When that happens, we need to get an interpreter in because otherwise it's very hard to communicate. I prefer communicating directly with my teachers because sometimes the interpreters don't understand what we're talking about, like in science and in maths. Or sometimes it's hard. I have to watch the interpreter, but I want to watch the teacher as well, and I have to look between them, and that gets confusing. Also, the teachers know me well and they understand me the best, but the outside visitors don't always do that, neither do the interpreters. When I'm outside of school, sometimes I get interpreters and they're not even qualified or trained, and that can be very frustrating and isolating and lonely. Interpreters must have training and must do lots of study before they can be qualified. They need to have excellent English and Auslan skills, of course. They also need to learn how to interpret between the two different languages. And they also need to understand the topics that they're interpreting about. Today, for deaf students in schools, they get given a teacher's aide, but they're not a professional interpreter. They're a person who isn't qualified and they get paid less money than professional interpreters do. And that's the only way we get access in classrooms. It's not fair because we don't get full access to everything the way hearing children would then get. And we can't talk directly with those teachers without the interpreter. It would make it much easier if we had interpreters who are qualified. That's why it's so important that interpreters all have the right training before they're allowed to start working. So I really think that the government needs to make sure that in all mainstream schools, deaf children have access to professional interpreters so that they can access the same level of education that hearing students do. Thank you.